Hi, my name is Carly Vieta. With this speech, I would like to persuade you that learning how to cook can improve a person's quality of life because it allows them to be self-sufficient. Learning how to put food on the table is an empowering accomplishment. When you can produce food, you become independent, but you also hold power to bring people together. Whether you're a parent teaching your child their favorite recipes before they go off to college, or a student learning the art of food preparation in a professional kitchen, learning how to prepare food will improve the livelihoods of those who learn. My heart connected to helping my family prepare food at my grandma's cabin, in her little covered outdoor kitchen where we topped pizza dough with homegrown apples and sharp cheddar cheese. In the wild salmonberry, huckleberry, and arching blueberry bushes, where we'd fill the 3 paper cups apiece, and my uncle would turn them into ice cream. Where I'd sit by the garden while my dad chopped wood for my grandma's wood stove, and she'd show me a pile of harvested garlic. I'd braid the strands neatly together, and she'd hang them up in the rafters to dry, but leave the prettiest bulbs, shot through with brilliant purples and magentas, to hang down like Christmas ornaments for her to enjoy. Who better to show what preparing food can do for a person than a grandmother who's brought her family together just with a whiff of homemade bread coming out of the bread maker? These days, my grandma's livelihood is the piece of land she lives on in Olympia, with its towering cedar trees and fresh air. For 5 years now, she's maintained a year-round garden, a task that, as she says, is not for the faint of heart. Over a phone call, I asked her how garden-to-table food preparation impacts quality of life, and what some of the mental benefits are. She said that after 5 years of gardening like this, she was still learning. She makes a plan and then gives it her best shot. It requires constant care and research. She says that there is no such thing as failure as long as you can keep asking questions. That doesn't mean that there aren't difficulties, though. With every successful method she's developed, there's been a reason. Garden wire to keep out cats and raccoons, plastic over her seedbeds to stop them from washing away in the rain, again. She learned to start asking what went right as well as what went wrong, and to appreciate every single thing that perseveres and grows in her garden. Consider everything you've gathered, she says, and cook everything in its own best way. She tells me all of this sprinkled in with ways of squash blossoms and how strawberries become ready overnight. As she said in the beginning, year-round gardening is not for the faint of heart. But the ingredients for your personal self that develop when putting so much effort into food you prepare are stamina, tenacity, perseverance, and patience. Above all, Grandma says to use and value what you have. Prepare it with love and serve it with kindness. That's the best recipe, she says. Not everyone's lifestyle is like Grandma Sharon's. Few people have the time and resources to rely on year-round garden to table, a year-round garden to fill their table. But cooking is for everyone. The therapeutic aromas of sizzling garlic and bubbling tomato sauce can be made on any stove. No one has the same thing, but cooking is about valuing the things you do have. Perseverance and patience are tangible things in a kitchen, and the results are visible and rewarding. Arnold Abbott is a man who recognizes the lessons preparing food teaches a person, but also what it provides for a person mentally and physically. He created a program called Love Thy Neighbor, which uses cooking to put self-sufficiency in the reach of people without many resources. The Recipe for Redemption Cooking School puts the homeless and the addicted on the road to self-sufficiency, writes John Tanasichuk about Arnold Abbott's Love Thy Neighbor cooking program. After Abbott's wife died, he found purpose in his life by feeding the homeless at Fort Lauderdale's beach. The city ordered him to stop, writes Tanasichuk. Abbott took the city to court and won. He still feeds 250 to 300 people Wednesday evenings on the beach and Sunday mornings at the Cooperative Feeding Program's community kitchen on West Broward Boulevard. But from that experience, Abbott realized his real mission, not to provide for people, but to teach people how to provide for themselves. He would do this by teaching them the skills he knew, cooking. Abbott partnered with McFadder Technical Institute to start a 9-week program teaching homeless folks how to work in professional kitchens. There are 45,000 restaurant jobs in Broward County, says Abbott, and you don't need a college diploma to get a restaurant job. Standing in the kitchen, outfitted in white chef's coats with the embroidered Love Thy Neighbor logo, there was a visible change in the students. They held themselves taller. They were offered a valuable thing, a second chance. Jose de Lemos is one of the many people with a success story from his Love Thy Neighbor experience. De Lemos describes the experience of learning the profession of cooking like this. You're beginning with something and you're ending with something. Goals, little baby steps. They're fulfilling. Self-esteem-wise, it's character building. It builds your confidence. It's a lot for a recovering addict. Arnold Abbott is not the only one to recognize the mental benefits that come with cooking. Melinda Levine refers to this as culinary arts therapy. When interviewing several experts on the subject, including Caitlin Tillman, who is a PABSA, Program for Aid to Victims of Sexual Assault therapist, as well as the owner of Old Soul Kitchen, and Annie Loosman, a social worker for St. Luke's Mental Health Clinic. Culinary art therapy combines traditional counseling with self-expression through food. Levine's research revealed that acts of cooking and baking bolstered self-confidence and allowed individuals to practice patience and self-compassion. As Loosman puts it, in my mid-50s, I continue to get better at not letting cooking mistakes bother me or cause me stress. It's been a great modality for me to work on, having some grace with myself. These hands-on tasks like caramelizing an onion, filling your kitchen with the delicious aroma, and relatively quickly being able to eat the delicious food you've made can put larger goals into perspective. Often, anxiety and depression are triggered when people are kicking hard underwater, with no end result in sight. Smaller tasks, where positive results are achievable, can give the cook a feeling of control over their own life. In her post-interviews article, Levine also addressed the sentimental value of creating food. Food is something that can bring families together, and Levine beautifully says that recreating recipes can conjure olfactory, visual, and taste memories, often comforting to those in the kitchen. When you taste or smell something baking that a loved one used to make, it can send you back to those warm memories. Whether you cook on an old wooden stove in a one-room cabin or a clamshell grill at McDonald's, you must be cautious not to burn yourself. That takes practice and attention. The skills you learn from providing food for yourself and other people stick with you. They positively impact your life outside of the kitchen, whether that kitchen is your place of business, school, or home. Sometimes getting food on the table is stressful. Other times it's therapeutic. But by providing for people, you give yourself more than nutrition. You give yourself a sense of accomplishment and a knowledge that you are capable. No matter the price of the meal or the number of people eating it, remember to cook with love and serve with kindness. Thank you.